It's my new ride. Rolling in on plastic 14s. Donut burnouts. Raptor edition. 1 speed on. It's like a PlayStation. You got play, pause, off, power button. Yeah, that's all you need. It's the same thing. Yep, play button, pause button. Yeah, that's all. I say we take these, swap them on these, and see how it goes.
Okay. No.
Alright, so we've got another one of these Chinese 110cc. We have one here that works okay with a bad carb. We have one we've disassembled, taken the motor out of, and we're taking pieces and making this one work. So we've troubleshooted the electric, so we didn't have a ignition key. So cut that out. Red and black, this turns the ignition on, so this is effectively if the key was on. So twisting these together, if we had a ignition indicator light, that would light up. These two would be shorted together if the ignition was off, so just leave these hanging. So effectively, that's a hot wire. So with those shorted, and of course if there was a battery in here, we'd turn on, hit our start button, and it should crank. Otherwise we hit our start button and we get our solenoid click, and then we continue troubleshooting. So in this one, we've actually figured out we had a bad starter. We put a new starter in, so when we have a battery on here now, we can click and crank. The other piece to recognize is on these units, there is a kill switch attached to the rear brake. There's a plunger in here, so when the brake is down, there's a plunger that comes up, closes the circuit, which effectively allows the motor to crank. We've unplugged that, and for the time being, just shorted that. So if that wasn't, and we didn't have our foot on the brake, we wouldn't be able to crank and start. Well, we found in troubleshooting that this plunger was shot, so we could try all day, but it was as if a kill switch was on. So shorting that removed that safety impediment to the electrical. Then there was the remote kill switch, and effectively unplug that, and then you can try and start again.
like the motor's on an angle compared to the frame. Or maybe just
It's not bucking itself out, it's fucked up. It started with no choke.
All right, starts, runs, and idles. This frame is missing the ear to mount the exhaust to, so obviously not zip tie and Velcro. We're going to see if we can actually, rather than welding, because I don't have the welder here, use some hose clamps to hold this thing in secure. And then we've got to come back in and we've got to do our, if you can see that there, our brake kill bypass. And rather than spend the money on a new ignition, we're literally going to wire in an on-off toggle switch and put that somewhere so we have that full kill. So we'll have our kill up top, have a kill there, and we'll do something better with the battery than just velcroing it to the frame for testing right now. But starts, runs, moves through the full cycle, the full range pretty good. All four tires holding air. We put a new carb on it, and this carb is the PZ20. Again, for the air fuel mixture is 1/2 out, and then the needle, and this one is adjustable, and it's set on the middle, so 5 adjustments, so it's on the third down, which is also the third up from the bottom. And we bled the brakes, ended up swapping the caliper from the parts ride. This rotor is actually bigger than the rotor off the other one. And we had to do spacers like I've talked about before. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 washers to get so that the rotor wasn't rubbing on the caliper itself. Not a lot of tolerance, but it works. And this rotor is actually warped by about a 1/16, but it's okay. So we're pretty close to having this one back together.